presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball, and it's a day game as the Cardinals wrap up this brief three-game series and homestand against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And St. Louis is looking for a sweep. Very good pitching matchup here this afternoon. Garrett Cole will go for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and at times he has dominated St. Louis. 10 career starts against the Cardinals. Very good ERA that sits below 3. Meanwhile, on the other side, at home, Michael Wacha against the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Cardinals right-hander with an ERA just above 3, 5 career starts at home against Pittsburgh. Jim Hayes is here. That's the Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin. If you like pitching, we should have a very good matchup here today.
Yeah, you said it. 2 of the best young pitchers in all of baseball right here on this field today. Looking forward to this pitching matchup. But we talked yesterday about scoring some runs. They're going to be hard to come by today.
It started, though, last night with Dexter Fowler. Leadoff triple, came around to score. Fowler, again, is in the lineup today. Dexter and the Cardinals looking for a sweep, and baseball is coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. In the ninth inning, after loading the bases with 1 out, wound up being a 2-1 loss. Finished the game just 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Always thrown in back-to-back games, so that means maybe, just maybe, if the closer spot comes up again today, we could be seeing Trevor Rosenthal.
Well, that's the good thing about having 2 guys that can close games. You're always going to get to a spot where one closer is going to be used a lot. There's another guy that can pitch the 8th and the 9th.
So always save in games 1 and 2 of this series. Michael Wacha to the mound when we come back. Is brought to you by Bud Light, famous among friends. By Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size trucks on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Very warm afternoon here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The Hyundai pitch arsenal with Michael Wacha. Live look at Michael taking his warm-up tosses. The fastball, the change, a good one. He's mixing in the cutter and the curve, but primarily fastball and change. Let's take a look at the lineup for Pittsburgh. It'll be Josh Harrison, followed by Josh Bell, and then Andrew McCutchen, Gregory Polanco, David Freese, John Jaso, Jordy Mercer, Chris Stewart, and the pitcher batting ninth, Garrett Cole. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Martinez, Fowler, and Piscotti in the outfield. Jerko and Garcia on the left side of the infield. Juan Carpenter on the right side. Yadier Molina is behind the plate. So Carpenter back in there dealing with the sore finger. Has not played in this series. And Josh Harrison, who's been there every day, second baseman, will lead it off. Can play all over the diamond. And of course, we talked about last night, Jimmy, the loss of Starling Marte out of this lineup and serving that 80-game suspension.
Losing one of your best players is going to be tough, but no one expects this team to do anything special this year, so whatever they do is going to be a plus. But still, to get through the year, someone's going to have to step up and fill that void. And we've been watching the last couple of nights. I think Andrew McCutchen is about to rise back to the top of his game, so it'll be interesting to keep an eye on this team during the course of the year.
2 years ago, a club that won 98 had spent 3 years consecutive in the postseason and fell out of postseason play a year ago. Michael Wacha, the numbers have been sensational in April in his career. Harrison is 1 for 5 in this series. and lifts a fly ball out to deep left. Martinez near the line, near the corner, and leaps and catches it. Nice play, Jose Martinez.
All over the place, playing different positions, can hit. What a great addition to this team so far this year. Nice play down here in the corner. This isn't an easy play, especially for a guy. I mean, he's a natural outfielder. Been playing a little bit of first base, but moving around, this is not an easy play down in that corner.
And he's primarily, as you said, been at first base and not a corner outfield spot. Brings in the switch hitting Josh Bell. And there's strike one. Bell is hitting an even 200, no home runs, 1 RBI, and they feel he's starting to come out of a bad slump. Came into this series 1 for 18, 3 hits this series, and quickly no balls and 2 strikes. To further your point about the Pirates, it'll be interesting to see if they become sellers this year. There's a swing and a miss and a good fastball at 96. A lot of the talk has been about Andrew McCutchen, who digs in with 2 outs. And the talk was that he would be traded in the offseason. Didn't happen. They shipped him from center to right. Now he's back in center with Marte suspended.
And now you can't really do anything because now he's all of a sudden the anchor again of your team, I believe. And unless you fall so far out of contention, you can't really risk letting him go, and then you could lose a whole lot of games really quick without somebody like that in your lineup.
McCutchen in center last night. A couple of very fine plays running down fly balls in both gaps. And we had a shot of him after running down a fly ball in right center, pointing to the ground, and he said, "This is my spot." In other words, this is my position. An aspect of Waka's start this year has been his fastball. It's been really good. There's the cutter, 2-2.
Couple fastballs in, get him to speed up. Nice little cutter. It's not doesn't have to be perfect. It's got to be in good location. Hitter's got to be aware of that fastball, especially the 95, 96 mile-an-hour fastball if he throws the ball in enough during the course of the day.
2-2. He's popped foul and out of play. Quick turnaround for both these teams following the Game 2 thrilling win for the Cardinals. Pirates had the bases loaded, but they went 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position last night. The 2-2. And McCutchen skies one. Foul territory. Playable for Jed Jerko. Under it. Makes the catch. And a 1-2-3 inning for Michael Waka. Dexter Fowler leads it off when we come back. Pirates, if they win a series, it's by sweep. If they lose, they're swept. And they're on the verge of being swept today. So Jimmy has been working hard on this Toyota key to the game.
I went seriously out on the limb for this one. Let's just keep. So we keep the sweeps in order. That means we've already gotten 2. So let's go get another one. Keep a little momentum going and keep the sweeps going for this interesting stat of the year for the Pirates. Shocking stat. I don't know if I've ever seen that one.
Really odd.
You added maybe something about the red uniform too?
Yeah, they haven't beaten a team that has red in their uniform as you get a look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal for Garrett Cole. And they have won their games on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And those are the only days that they've won.
Stats Inc.
Weird.
It is bizarre.
So here's Dexter Fowler. Garrett Cole is a very good pitcher and trying to return to that ace form that he had 2 years ago. Injuries are part of his story in 2016. 1 ball and 1 strike. A very good fastball, averages close to 97 miles an hour. The hardest so far this year by average, Noah Syndergaard. Let's go back, Jimmy, to what you were talking about, your conversation with Dexter Fowler and what he's trying to really improve upon in this series.
Well, you can see that swing right there. He's staying back behind the ball, even though the velocity of Garrett Cole can get deep on you in a hurry. But what he's trying not to do is drift and move. So keeps his head still, keeps his body quiet. You see the ball better. Starting to feel better each day, he said. I think obviously the first at bat yesterday put it together. Even the walks are important when you're struggling. So something that he has been able to kind of figure out and just waiting for it to really click and get hot.
This is more indicative, too, of a Dexter Fowler at bat, regardless how it turns out, pitch number 5.
Yeah, and I think there was a period where he had 4 at bats and he only saw 6 pitches. That is definitely not his game.
And he strikes out to start the afternoon. A look at the Cardinals lineup. Fowler, Garcia, and Carpenter here in the first. Then Piscotty, Martinez, and Molina, Jerko Wong, and the pitcher spot, Michael Wacha, the starting 9 for the Cardinals. Ledmus Diaz struggling over his last 17. So Garcia, the day game after the night game, shifting from third base to shortstop here today. And there's ball 1. Al has talked about it a lot. Al Raboski, when we're covering spring training, you see a lot of Garcia. And he talks about really the final step for a utility guy, being able to play the position of shortstop in the major leagues. You do that, you add tremendous value to what you bring to a table and a team.
Especially because obviously that is the biggest key in the infield, and that is a huge hole when your shortstop has to take a day off and you don't have anyone that's reliable out there. And it's scary as a manager, I would imagine, putting someone else out there if you don't believe that they're reliable. And Greg's been doing a great job all over the diamond, and short included.
Lines out to David Freese, playing off the line. Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers around the horn. The defense of the Pirates, Polanco, McCutchen, and Jaso in the outfield. Freese, Mercer, Harrison Bell on the infield, and Chris Stewart is behind the plate. Good to see this man back, Matt Carpenter. So he took a ground ball on Sunday night against the Yankees off his finger. It's swollen still, really nasty too. The blood that was coming out of the finger, and did not play in the first 2 games. Mike Matheny telling me that he could have pinch hit last night, but they wanted to give him just a little extra time, a few more hours, and they did anticipate him being in the lineup today, and here he is. But if you can't grip a bat and you're facing a guy throwing 97, league is pretty tough.
League is tough anyways, but you're right. It is tough, and that's the thing. You know, he took the ground ball off the finger. You kind of go home with a jammed finger, a little bit of blood, but when you wake up in the morning and it swells, I mean, I saw it a little bit. His nail was above his finger, and there was so much swelling in between the nail and the nail bed. I was surprised how big it was, and he was trying to get ready to play the other night. Obviously, they decided against it, but yeah, no batting gloves and that kind of a finger has got to be, even with batting gloves, that's a tough task, but made the right decision of probably sitting him down and not irritating it over and over the next morning or the next afternoon.
He's got good numbers against Cole, 385 average, 3 home runs. And the 1-2. Pulls it foul past Ali Marmol, the new first base coach of the Cardinals.
By no means, I'm sure it is 100% right now. I mean, he's going out there having to battle. That finger, just the soreness does not go away in 2 days.
And it may not be 100% for a long time. So 1-2 the count with 2 outs, nobody on. Go figure. You got a guy like Garrett Cole with dominating stuff. And baseball is such a funny game. Just certain hitters see the ball better with certain pitchers. And that may be the case here with Carpenter.
Yeah, to have good numbers against a guy like this, we just saw 99 and how quickly it gets on you. Matt had a good swing, but by no means was even close. And just putting that little bit of that bat on the ball for a foul ball, but you just never know when you're going to have good numbers against a guy.
1-2 pitch and a high fly ball lifted out to right. And the catch made by John Jaso. Cardinals go in order. We head to the second here at Busch Stadium, and there's no score. Uniform. Big ovation for David Freese. With more on that, let's check in with Jim.
Yeah, David told me when he was introduced in game 1 of this series and only got a warm, friendly reception, not a standing ovation, he was taken aback. He thought to himself, what is going on? He was kidding. He told me he was, quote, relieved. He told me, quote, everyone knows I love St. Louis and how I appreciate the love they've shown me. I'll never forget the standing ovations they gave me. But after the first couple, I really didn't know what to do with myself. I'm not a look-at-me guy. And Dan, after taking a break, Freese is also back doing Emo's commercials. When I asked why, he said, I love the Provel and that they pay me, but mostly the Provel. He was kidding about that, too. He's an Emo's guy.
Tough play here for Jerko. The pick at first and out. Nice play on both ends. They get the speedy Gregory Polanco. Yeah, it's not very common. Matter of fact, I don't think I've ever seen it with a player still in uniform, the opposition, and doing commercials in a different town. That's the case with David Freese.
I think that home run is going to be forever remembered, and I don't know if he'll ever be another that uniform that whatever uniform he puts on, he'll always be a Cardinal, especially in this town, obviously. But like he said, they're paying him.
One ball, one strike. How about for you that first time coming back to Busch Stadium wearing a different uniform?
It's scary. It really is. You don't know what to expect, and you just
ground ball that's hit to short. Garcia gets Freeze.
You think about it all the time, and there's a lot to live up to it. And just you never know what's going to happen.
Highest average against the Cardinals after playing for St. Louis. Andy High, #1 on that list. You knew that. Tony Scott, Vince Coleman, Joe Torre, Edgar Renteria, David Freeze. Was your first time back with the Chicago Cubs?
It was.
And I distinctly remember maybe a certain manager saying, I hope they don't applaud him.
Make it a little bit too big of a deal out of it.
Right.
Anything for the upper hand there, Tony.
One Tony La Russa. Emotional, I bet, coming back.
It was weird. It was like watching a movie. Like I was standing out in center field where I belonged, but the red guys were on the other side.
Right.
It was so bizarre. I was like literally dreaming, like watching, you know, when you sometimes you get a dream and it's clear but it's not clear. That's how I felt the whole day.
1-1 pitch. Jaso, a fly ball out to shallow left center field. Good start, Michael Wacha. 6 up, 6 down. Piscotty, Martinez, and Molina coming up. When the Cardinals go big, coffee fountain, frozen drinks, any size, 50 cents. The next day at On the Run when the Redbirds score 6. So keep the celebration rolling. And stop by On the Run tomorrow for a thirst-quenching win. You earned it. I think what made your situation coming back to St. Louis all the more difficult was the uniform that you were wearing. As Piscotty swings through the first pitch here in the bottom of the second. Little different when you're wearing that Cubby blue.
And we were in first place.
That's also a part of it too. Nothing in 2 the count. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks. We've been talking about this in the series, how teams really have tried to go inside on Piscotty.
Inside with 95. That makes it tough.
Steven picked up an RBI in the ball game last night. He's now up to 9 to lead the club. Last time we saw Garrett Cole had to leave after the 3rd inning, dealt with a triceps injury and really bugged him the rest of the way. First half of the season, ERA was 2.77. Second half, 5.48. That just missed. He's coming off a win in his last start at Wrigley. 2 runs in 6 innings and a 4-2 Pirates win. Mention how when a pitcher's trying to bust you in, sometimes you cheat and it can set up the other pitches.
Definitely cheating means you're mentally thinking about that fastball inside, whatever they tell you, yes or no, but that's what it is. And if you just get that bat moving a little early or shoulder moving, your head seems to move a little bit, you don't pick up the pitch as much, and then definitely susceptible sorry to I'm actually thinking about how hard it is to hit mentally in my head, and you just fly just enough and that slider just kind of gets down and away, and it's just that much tougher to see.
2-2 the count.
Hard to speak and visualize at the same time.
A swing and a miss and a nasty pitch as Cole picks up strikeout number 2.
You can see right here, good slider, but you can see he's thinking fastball in his head. Makes it that much tougher. I mean, that just the velocity itself makes it tough because you have to cheat a little bit, but being pitched in with that velocity makes it that much tougher to hold back on sliders.
Looking forward to this matchup in particular with Martinez against a good fastball. He is a quick bat. We saw that on display over the weekend against the Yankees with Aroldis Chapman on the mound, and turned on a pitch and turned that into a double. Hits it sharply into center and a 1-out base hit.
Something that Jose does really well is he gets his foot down and he gets ready no matter who's pitching, and he's in a good hitting position, whether it be 96, 95. You can see here he's on time and ready to go, and look at the body finish, is perfect. But short, he's not, it looks like he's got a long bat, long arms, long swing, but he's not. He's quick to the zone, and then he finishes with a nice smooth swing. But we've seen he can handle any fastball that's been thrown at him.
1-out runner at first, and Yadier Molina. This may be the combination that you think about a hit and run to get things going offensively. The Cardinals have won the first 2 of this series with a total of 9 hits.
Martinez can run a little bit. Yadi can handle the bat. Still got to watch. I mean, inside that locker room, they kind of have an idea how they're going to pitch Yadi. If they're pitching him in, maybe not want to start the runner because he misses in. You're taking that pitch as a hitter. You miss away, you can throw your bat at it. Watch here and see what they try and do.
1 ball and 1 strike.
I've changed my approach against guys that threw hard like this. I tried to make sure, because of me having that little upward swing, I tried to actually stand up a little bit taller and try to get my bat a little flatter just to make me a little quicker against guys that threw this hard.
The 1-1.
Guy like Brad Penny comes to mind. It was always, and it's not just the velocity all the time, it's the high velocity that you have to make sure that you stay on top of. Guys that are down in the zone, you don't change as much, but if a guy can throw the high fastball at the top of the zone, for me, I always felt like I had to stop and cheat upward a little bit so I could stay more flat for that day and just make sure that I was on time for fastballs up in the zone.
Popped up and out of play. Jerko is on deck. Another Cardinal that can turn on a fastball. Think about Martinez and Jerko. This kind of matchup, they might have success today.
The thing that Yadi does so well is he's not going to overcompensate for this fastball. He's going to keep fighting through it, knowing he's going to get an off-speed pitch eventually. And he can just foul off fastballs when he needs to.
2-2.
That's something that takes a lot of years of practice and a lot of just basically self-will. You have to will your way into just concentrating on staying in that game plan, that program.
The 2-2 pitch. Got him to chase. So 2 strikeouts in the inning and 3 total this far. MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch out-of-market regular season games live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Now Jed Jerko. Fastball just missed on the outside portion of the plate.
That fastball away to a righty too looks like a little crossfire. So
yeah.
Not only is he burying the ball in on you on their hands, when he goes away from you, it looks like it's running away from you. It makes it tougher. That pitch right there, it's almost stepping at the right-hander, kind of like the Arrieta situation. They say when he throws the ball away to a right-hander, it looks like it starts off in the left-hander's batter's box and ends up over the plate. Well, his ball just kind of keeps running that way.
See where that landing area is on the mound too.
And it's not huge. You know, he's not really stepping way across his body, but when he throws the ball to the other side, to the left-handed side of the plate, it just has that little run to it, and it's like a crossfire, and it makes that much harder on the right-hander to stay with it.
3-0 pitch, and he walked him. The first walk issued by Garrett Cole puts a runner in scoring position. 2 on, 2 outs here in the home half of the second. Well, you're right, that crossfire of Garrett Cole.
Just keep an eye on when he throws fastballs away to a righty, maybe sometimes into a lefty, that it'll keep moving in that direction. It's not straight. It's not hitting perfectly good spots and location. It's got some run and some tail. Just makes it that much tougher to stay with it.
Colton Wong with a home run in game 1 of this series. He now has 7 career home runs against the Pirates. That's the most he's hit against any team in baseball. Outfield is deep. The 0-1. 0-2. There it is, going
That's
in
that
on
pitch.
those lefties.
Almost just like an angle. It's got some angle to that fastball. It's almost like as a lefty, it's almost like it's chasing you.
Hit to third. Free stays down on it and makes the play. The Cardinals strand a couple. We'll talk about the kids' clinics coming up when we come back. home on Friday, April 28th. 30,000 fans ages 16 and older take home an exclusive Bruce Sutter Garden Gnome. For more information and to buy tickets, visit cardinals.com/promotions. Former Cardinal Scott Terry is with us, and it's our annual visit. When I see you, I know that kids' clinics are coming up. You run those, and they're firing up very soon.
19 years. Can you believe that?
19 of them?
I think so.
19 years?
Yeah, 19 years. They keep asking us back in spite of what we do.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's been around that long.
It has. You know, we were talking about that. We had an alumni luncheon not long ago before the season started.
Jordy Mercer lines it to Carpenter for the first out.
You know, if you keep that atom ball like he's throwing right now, you'll win 20.
He's had a few of those today.
That's perfect, you know, as long as somebody's at the other end of it.
So the kids, they have a chance to mingle with former big leaguers and get instruction.
Yeah, for about 4 hours. And we teach them 5 different things: base running, ground balls, fly balls, hitting, throwing, and pitching. So a lot of fundamentals, a lot of repetition, a lot of fun.
And it's not just the boys, it's the girls too.
Boys and girls are both welcome, ages 7 to 13. And we'll be at various locations around the area. We have added Bridgeton this year as a new venue for us. There's another venue that we haven't been to, which is Baldwin. But the others we've been to in the past, and look forward to getting back there.
How many other former Cardinals are a part of these?
Probably anywhere from 13 to 14 guys. We'll do the various clinics throughout the 14 that we have, and a lot of guys from the 80s, and then some other guys. You know, T.J. Matthews has gotten on board this year. Pat Perry's on board this year. Then we got the good old standbys, Danny Cox and Rich Hacker and Tommy Lawless. He's back in town. You know, he's out of baseball now for the 2nd year in a row, and really enjoying the things that we've got him doing around here with the alumni, so he has a good time.
Cal McClellan, Kerry Robinson, also a part of that.
Yeah, Mike Crudell. So, yeah, it's good times.
The fly ball out to left. Martinez drifting back to make the catch for out number 2. It's kids ages 7 to 13. Former Cardinals are putting on these clinics. 14 clinics held throughout the metro area. And the first clinic is June 7th. If you sign up, you get a Cardinals cap, a T-shirt, goodie bag that's filled with items from the Cardinals, 2 tickets to a future game, and you'll get autographs as well. So this is not only about instruction, but also kids walking away with some fun too.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of memorabilia they'll take with them, and then of course they'll have an opportunity to come to a game, and we fill their heads with baseball knowledge, of course, you know, and there's no different perspective than a big league perspective. That's what's unique about it, and so it's great. Everybody's a former player, so whether the kids recognize us or not, at least the parents do. They can say, yeah, I really did. I really saw him play. But, you know, we have a great time. We get started at 8 o'clock, do a little intro, 25-minute rotations, 5 rotations. We take a break. There's usually a concession stand that open. The complexes that we go to are nice complexes, more than one field, so we have a lot of room. A lot of opportunity to have a lot of fun with the kids and give them some direction.
As a father of 4, you've been doing this. I'm a father of 4. You have kids yourself. 19 years. Mr. Terry, you are a glutton for punishment.
Well, you know, it gets different every year.
I bet.
I'm not going to say it gets any easier. Yeah, you know, it's never easy to herd cats. But, you know, the 7 to 9-year-olds are a little different than the 10 to 13s, and then sometime we combine all 6 ages in one camp. So it gets a little crazy, but, you know, kids are kids. You know, when we were kids, we were no different than they are now. Really what's changed, if anything has, is the parents. But there's nothing wrong with them, obviously, and we're just happy that they bring the kids there to us, and we get an opportunity to work with them.
You do a lot of private instruction, too.
I do.
Where do you do that at?
A place called All-Star Performance, and enjoy that. Been doing that for a long time as well, and have seen how kids have changed over the years in reference to how they look at baseball. You know, they think the game's different now.
Baseball's baseball.
It is.
Great to have you here. Thanks, Scott.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Cardinals.com/clinics. Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by National Car Rental. Go national, go like a pro. And try the Double Jack Combo for just $4.99 only at Jack in the Box. And the parties that they have on Clark Street. Close that off. Folks head to Ballpark Village. Maybe take in the Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum. I was over there today and saw some of the new memorabilia and the new themes of this year. And again, if you'd like to sign up for those kids clinics, ages 7 to 13, and that's cardinals.com/clinics, and they'll show you a listing of when and where in your area.
We need to get Scott Terry up here more often. That was a quick half inning. I didn't even have a chance to get a cup of coffee.
Quick inning thanks to Michael Walker. He looks pretty good today.
That's true too. Thanks, Michael. I'll blame him for not being able to get my coffee.
I'm fine with it. We have had very good pitching in this series, really on both sides. Game 1 was Ivan Nova and Lance Lynn. Last night, again, we saw Mike Leake pitch very well. And today, it's a good matchup with Walker and Cole. So Cole made the last out, so took his time, and now finishing up his warm-up tosses, it'll be Walker, Fowler, and Garcia. A very warm afternoon. Temperatures expected to get into the high 80s potentially this afternoon. We had to whip out the fan for the first time this year.
Better warm than cold, I always say.
Absolutely.
Especially on the baseball field.
Especially when a guy's throwing 98 in on your hands.
Yeah.
A little uncomfortable.
Yep.
Walker has a base hit this year. And it's 0-2. Cole has walked 1. He has struck out 3 and allowed 1 base hit. My kids have taken part in that kids clinic multiple times as Walker swings and misses. They love it. Chance to meet some of the former big leaguers and get a little instruction. And the best part, they walk away with goodies. They like that.
Gotta love your goodies, right?
Absolutely. The 4 strikeouts all have been swinging, and that includes Dexter Fowler back in the first inning. Hear so many players talk about how tough it is when you're at a big league park. They put your photo up there and you look up and you see, uh-oh, I'm hitting 140. They're human. They pay attention to that. As much as they say maybe they don't, they do. It's early, but you want to get off to those good starts.
You definitely pay attention to it, and you think every day when you look up there, all right, today if I just get 2 hits and get started, or if I get 3 hits, I'm getting closer. That's always in the back of your mind.
Fowler with a drive out to deep right. Jaso back, gone! First home run as a Cardinal, Dexter Fowler, and it's 1-0 St. Louis. That will take some of the pressure off.
See this pitch right here, down the middle away, but Dexter stays back. Doesn't have a huge swing, so for him to drift a little bit just ties him up. And in the last couple of days, you can see he's staying behind the ball right there. There's not a lot to it, which is crazy that he can get so far out of whack, but he talked about it. He just wasn't getting comfortable, and he could just see, he could feel it getting closer and closer after that last bat in New York.
His first home run, his first RBI as a St. Louis Cardinal. Brings in Garcia, lined out to third. And the 1-1 pitch. Out to center. McCutcheon coming on, diving, and makes the catch. Nice play, Andrew McCutchen. That is big. Fowler has swung the bat as well as we've seen him this year in this series.
Yeah, the Cardinals definitely need to get Dexter going, or Dexter needs to get Dexter going, but totally different lineup with him on base, or him causing havoc, running the bases, taking pitches. We talk about how good Matt Carpenter was all those years as a leadoff hitter, and now you got another guy that can do that exact same thing. You just need him to be right.
Take it a step further, really it's the top three in the lineup. It's Fowler, Diaz, Carpenter. Cardinals really relying on those three to get on base. No reason to think that won't happen. Track record has been there for two of the three. Diaz just 1 year in the big leagues.
And you can't mess around and throw the ball right down the middle, because all three of those guys can hurt you with the home run.
Nothing in two, the count. Carpenter fly to right, first time up. Here's the 0-2 and a swing and a miss. Carpenter strikes out, the fifth of the day through 3 innings for Garrett Cole. The Cardinals grab an early lead. Solo shot by Fowler. 1-0 after 3. And we check in with Jim Hayes.
Dan Aledmus Diaz getting the day off. He's carrying an 0 for 18. He's also not taking many walks of late. Mike Matheny saying before the game, Aledmus got hot early and was very aggressive and was rewarded for it. Now he has to get back to getting deeper into counts and trusting his hands. Aledmus spent extra time looking at video and working on his swing today. He told me, I'm not swinging the bat well right now, but I think I figured out some things. Dan, he says he feels like he's ready to get back in the groove, and the Cardinals could certainly use that.
Well, you know he'll be back in that starting lineup tomorrow. We'll be in Milwaukee, and that'll be the first of 4 against the Brewers. In your opinion, Jimmy, can you look at too much video? You know, sometimes you think about guys that are going poorly, and they swing and they swing and they swing, and they're basically reinforcing bad habits. Ground ball off the bat of Josh Harrison for the first out. But can you look at video and maybe trick yourself because you're looking too much at it?
Well, I think there's a couple of things to that. I always believe that sometimes when you're struggling, you swing less. You can look at video because it can give you, what I went after was good video. You look at a few things where you try to figure out where your hands are wrong. Dexter Fowler said his hands were out away from his body too much, and you can see that he was drifting. But then you go to what you were doing right and you see if there's a different setup. And then you try to kind of put them together. But I believe if you just keep going out there and swinging, sometimes you're right. You just keep doing bad habits over and over and over. And that's probably the worst thing you can do. Sometimes you got to back off. And sometimes that day off that you get before the off day, you just have to shut it down. And hopefully if you pinch hit, you go out there on ability. Don't swing at all. Get a full 2 days away from the game and move on from there.
That's what's kind of interesting about Fowler. He has played every single game. He started every game. And even when he was in that rut, you know, he's trying to fight through it. There's a high drive out to right center. Fowler is back at the wall, leaps, and it's gone. Josh Bell, the first hit for the Pirates today, and it's a home run and his first of the year to tie it up. It's 1-1.
Seen some really good at bats out of this young man. You can see why they're so high on him. He's made some adjustments with 2 strikes. He's taken some really big swings ahead in the count. And this is a good example of how strong he is. I don't think he got all of that, but that's the kind of pop he's got.
It also is a warmer day. Ball is carrying a little bit better. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Taken high and outside by McCutchen. So Waka had started this game setting down 10 Pirates in a row. And after the home run, he goes to 3-0 here on McCutchen. Three and 1. Popped up. Out to shallow center. Wong is called off by Fowler, who makes the catch. So Bell has made it a 1-1 game. There are also players you talk about with video. Some love to look at it in game. I mean, the Cardinals, for fans that don't know, have access to that video right after the at bat. I mean, they go right to the video room, cue up their at bat, look at it, where other players say, I'd rather watch what the pitcher is doing inning by inning live in that dugout.
And sometimes you want to just take your at bats on feel. You know how you feel. You might run up there and ask. I would go up there all the time and ask Chad Blair, where was that pitch? And for me, Chad was like another super coach. I could go up there and say, why did I miss that? I wouldn't have to look at video. He could tell me. He's watched so many at bats. All of us play for so many years, and he was like, oh, you just got let it get a little deep, or the ball's off the plate. And that's key too, because now you have your own feelings, and then you just reassure it with where the ball was on the plate, and then you make the adjustment that way.
Chad Blair is the video coach of the Cardinals. They talk about how Yadier Molina at times will take an iPad looking at opposing hitters before series, and it's 1 or 2 in the morning. He's laying down in bed watching the iPad and formulating that game plan, and that's how he falls to sleep. As Polanco looks at a ball, and it's a 2-out walk, and the first walk issued by Michael Wacha. Well, you can see after the home run, he went to 3-0 on McCutchen, then 3-1, got him to pop out. Then 4 straight balls here to Polanco, just get him through the inning and regroup.
Funny how that works. One solo shot. So I guess that's why they call it shell shocked. It does give you a little bit of damage right there, and he can find his way back through it.
David Freese at the plate, hits it out of play.
It's got to be something though when you think about like all the years you've pitched over your life and probably been dominant, and then when you get up here and if you just miss a little bit, it's a homer. You've never had home runs hit off of you for 20 years, and then all of a sudden you just make a little mistake and it's a home run. It's got to be a hard adjustment to get used to.
Sure. Play Freeze in the outfield the other way. to pull on the infield. And the 0-1. Off the end of the bat. Fowler coming on. Dexter is there. Little jump and a catch. Well, Fowler hit a home run to put the Cardinals on top, and then he tried to take one away. The home run by Bell. We're tied. It's 1-1. Sports Midwest. Blues invite you to a playoff plaza party before the game on Clark Avenue at Scott Trade Center. Music, food, drinks, giveaways. Be there tonight, 5 o'clock. Cheer on the Blues. Stephen Piscotty will lead it off for the Cardinals. And a strike. Stephen struck out back in the second inning. Big gap in left center. Quickly, no balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball lifted out to left. Polanco is back, reaching for it, and makes the catch. Playing fairly deep in left, but he is long, lean, can run, and stretched out to take the hit away from Piscotty. The Pirates do have some very good young pitchers. And last year, 4 made their debut in the rotation. Tyler Glasnow, Chad Kuhl. Saw him last night. Jamison Taillon and Stephen Brault, who also pitched against the Cardinals and pitched fairly well. But anchoring this staff, if this team is going to go anywhere, it's the man on the mound.
Young talent in a lot of positions, especially on the mound.
Here's Jose Martinez. Garrett Cole married Amy Crawford in the offseason. Sister of Giants shortstop Brandon Crawford. Those two have been dating since their days at UCLA. Garrett on the baseball team, Amy a softball player. What do you think it's like when he faces his brother-in-law?
A lot of fun, actually. I always liked facing guys I knew really well.
I always think it's interesting when you face a teammate that you were very close with. As Martinez draws the walk, the second one issued by Cole. So Martinez, after ball 4 was called, I know it's something small, but it just looks good. Drops the bat and runs hard to first base, a la Scott Rowland. Here it is, ball 4, drop the bat, hustling.
Good to be here in the big leagues, huh?
Yep. That's up the middle and a base hit. I think that went through the legs of Cole. It certainly hit the mound, and it's a base hit for Yadier Molina. Cardinals' 3rd hit of the afternoon. Oh yeah.
Right back up the middle. Ever since that home run by Fowler, Garrett Cole's been shaking his head a little bit, been a little frustrated. Maybe not hitting his location as well as he'd like, but he looked to be a little frustrated after the home run. Now starting to carry over a little bit.
I give Dexter Fowler a lot of credit. Even when things were going poorly, always showing up at the ballpark with a smile on his face. That's not easy to do. You just signed a 5-year extension. Expectations are high, and you're hitting 140, but yet every time you'd see him, how you doing? Pat on the back, handshake, smiling. That has to have an effect on a team that was struggling too.
It's important to have your stars even keel. I mean, I remember playing in Milwaukee for a little bit, and when Prince Fielder was in a bad mood, the team was kind of a little bit skittish. And then when he was happy, the team was happy, everything was fine.
Sure.
But that emotional roller coaster can put a toll on a team, especially a young team.
1 ball, 1 strike on Jerko. The 2-1 pitch with 2 on. Hits it the other way, but foul. Brewers and Cubs in a rain delay. Some of the other day baseball. Next year, the season will start 4 to 5 days early, depending on a particular team, which will allow an off day for every week of the season, as baseball is trying every which way to keep players healthy, get them rest. The 2-2. I would think the players would invite that and say, yeah, we'll take some off days along the way.
Back in the day, they used to play double headers on Sunday maybe, and had a Monday off, travel day, travel by train.
3-2 and a call, 3rd strike. Strikeout number 6 for Cole.
Oof. A lot of pitches down there, a lot of balls down there. It's tough to take that pitch for a ball a couple times and then strike 3. That'll make you frustrated in a hurry.
Well, Chris Stewart out to visit with Cole here. You do have a base open. That's 3rd. 8th place hitter Wong here, and then the pitcher Michael Wacha on deck. You noticed how Colton is dressed for success. He's got the protective gear, the batting gloves, wristbands, the glasses. Fouled back. The classic Cardinal uniform. The stirrup showing.
I wonder if yellow is his color. Got a lot of yellow going on.
Here's the 0-1.
Good luck color.
Maybe so.
Little yellow there, a little yellow in the wristband.
Put it this way, you're not going to miss him. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Wong. Backhanded by Harrison. Nice play. Pops up and a force at second. We played 4 and we're tied. It's 1-1. That's the back of a line to get ice cream.
We got
Feels
extra
like
up
a
here.
summer's day.
Got extra up here. They just come on up.
But we don't have the Dippin' Dots.
Ooh, yeah, you're right. My kids would be in that line right now. They weren't at school.
Mine too. Guys, what's going on in the game? No, Dad, don't care. Dippin' Dots.
Dippin' Dots.
Here's John Jaso. We're in the 5th. Cardinals have out hit the Pirates 3-1. The one hit for the Pirates, a home run. One of the 3 home hits for the Cardinals, a home run by Dexter Fowler. Jaso fly to center, first time up. As Michael Wacha burst on the scene, the postseason, less than a year after he was drafted and facing elimination, shut down these Pittsburgh Pirates. He was remarkable that year, 4-1 with a 2.64 ERA, the 2013 postseason. He's been an all-star, and the real question with him is whether he can sustain what we're seeing today and the previous starts that he's had already this year throughout a full season. Jaso, base hit out to left. And the leadoff man is aboard. I think you could say that since the home run by Josh Bell, he has not been quite as sharp. Now time for the unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Eric Thames, 11-game hitting streak. Big story there, though, the home runs. 6 home runs in his last 6 games, 7 total. Drew Storen, 9 pitches as he struck out the side, and the Diamondbacks and Rockies off to a good start. Thames spent time overseas to redevelop what he says his love of baseball and have a job, and also his home run stroke. Milwaukee takes a flyer on him after they did not bring back Carter, who hit 42 a season ago, and looks like the move is paying off big time early on. There's Jordy Mercer lined out to first baseman Matt Carpenter back in the third. Two and 0.
You said it. Wouldn't blame it on the home run, but something has happened to Michael Walker when the mechanics or mentally or the heat, whatever it is, he hasn't been as sharp since that home run, but you can see even just the location of his fastball is off now, and it's in a fight to get it back under control.
The 2-0 pitch. Kubota power stats. Average fastball velocity, it's at 95 to start this year. That fastball just makes the changeup so much tougher too.
Once you get above 93, 94, that's like I think the threshold of when everything just really speeds up for this game.
2-1 is popped foul. Walker was left on deck in the bottom of the fourth, and hustling out to warm him up and just be ready was Eric Fryer. And Mike Matheny talked about him yesterday. He said Eric Fryer does everything that we want our players to do in terms of being ready, the way that they come available and anxious to play, even though he knows majority of the time that won't be the case. There's a broken bat, Wong, and a double play. Jaso running right into a double play, and Walker says thank you very much. The State Farm double play. Not sure what Jaso saw there.
From up here, looks pretty simple, right? Jam shot, looked like it was right to Colton, but down there might look a little different. I think maybe he was hoping it would just bleed into the outfield and he could trot to third.
And Stewart, a fly ball to right, and that changes the complexion of that inning for Michael Wacha. He'll lead it off when we come back. We're tied up. It's 1-1. Milwaukee at 6:30. Good matchup, Carlos Martinez and Zach Davies. Let's see how Carlos bounces back after one of the oddest starts you'll ever see. First inning against the Yankees over the weekend on Saturday. He walks 4 in the first, strikes out the side in the first, wild pitch, pass ball. It showed you that he was, wild in the zone, but still no one could center him up.
It just got so much movement with that velocity, and now he's got that extra little hair whip. Might be throwing him off a little bit. But that was a very, very unique line in his last start.
And there's a good look at Michael Wacha digging in as we start playing here in the bottom of the 5th. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes.
I was actually watching that Carlos Martinez start on my Fox Go app, watching Landon play baseball.
You said to me, effectively wild.
I was
you were watching
you during the game, wondering if I was seeing the same thing that you were seeing.
1-2 pitch and a strikeout, number 7 for Garrett Cole. Pittsburgh gets the news of Marte yesterday, and it's the type of blow to their franchise that maybe hurts them more than others. You know, small market, not a high payroll, one of the guys that you're really counting on. And it's not like they're going to go out and go spend a bunch of money to replace him. Fowler, deep right, and it is gone! His second home run of the day. Both solo shots. His first 2 as a Cardinal. He drives in his first 2 as a Cardinal and puts the Birds back on top. It's 2-1 St. Louis.
See right here, staying behind the ball. Make your hands that much quicker. Ball was inside off the plate, but was able to pull his hands in. A nice standing ovation for having 2 home runs in one day.
And he got his first curtain call here in St. Louis.
Doesn't take long if you do some good things.
Not in this town.
Nope, not at all.
Here's Garcia. He is lined out to third and then sent a sinking liner to center and a diving catch by McCutchen. First multi-home run game for Dexter Fowler since June of 2013. The 0-2 and a strikeout of Garcia, 0 for 3 today. Strikeout number 8, Garrett Cole. With 2 outs, it'll bring Matt Carpenter to the plate. He in the driver's seat. Talked about his success against Cole. 10 for 46 against the others. In the dramatic home run last year off the bench is a pinch hitter, which set the all-time pinch hit home run record by a team. That happened in the 9th inning. And the Cardinals then would hit 2 more home runs after that. That huge comeback win. He's flied to right. He is struck out. 0-2 the count.
See what happens when you have good numbers against a guy. Get started off with the 90-mile-an-hour changeup, by the way, and then a good slider down and in. Not so many more fastballs for you.
Now time is called. I still chuckle when you say 90-mile-an-hour changeup.
That's why I was laughing too. It's a pretty firm changeup.
And the 0-2. Ooh, just missed. Pirates will have an off day tomorrow. Homestand coming up against the Yankees and the Chicago Cubs. Cardinals, it's only 4 games out on the road, then back home. Nice long homestand upcoming. The 2-2. Carpenter, base hit into right. Good at bat. I thought the 0-2 pitch was really tough to take.
It's not tough to take, just lucky it doesn't get called.
That's another way to look at it.
You're hoping it doesn't get called because the stuff that he's throwing is still good, and you can see 99-mile-an-hour fastball, and he had that. You see all that ball with that angle right there, kind of running in, jams Carp just enough for it to fall in there in front of the right fielder. Sometimes you don't have a choice to take that pitch. It just is what it is.
Uh-oh, and now he's picked off. So Carpenter picked off at first base. The Cardinals, though, pick up their second run of the day. It's been all Dexter Fowler. A solo home run back in the third, and a solo shot down the right field line. Pair of solo home runs today. And the kiss cam here at the ballpark, and our partner Jim Edmonds a little warm and fuzzy.
Can't believe they don't show us.
I'm talking about us.
Oh, sorry.
The strike to Garrett Cole. We're underway here in the top of the 6th.
Thought you were getting a little warm and fuzzy for me.
No, sir.
Gotcha.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. We may look back at the Mercer at bat in the 5th, which turned out to be a soft liner, and Jaso, both of us surprised, doubled off at first base, as being one of the keys to this game, because at that point Waka, as you mentioned, looked to be a little out of whack, maybe mechanically, mentally after the home run, but wasn't as sharp as we saw him early in the game, and now can get settled back in. Pitcher leads off this inning. We'll see how it plays out. And a strikeout is second.
You can keep an eye on Michael Waka too, and his mechanics are off. His velocity is down just a little bit and doesn't have that life that you just saw in that fastball. Nice to see that right there, because that's an indication of everything kind of getting back working together, and that explosion on the end of that fastball is what makes him so successful.
So third time now through the lineup. Here's Harrison, and ball 1. Very warm and muggy afternoon here at the ballpark. The 1-0 pitch. Last time that Fowler had a meaningful home run, a game that counts, led off Game 7 of the World Series with a solo shot. That pitch was up and a base hit out to left.
Game is so meaningful a little bit, I guess. Is that what you're saying? Just a tad?
The range of meaningful games that's at the top of the list. Certain players want to be in them, certain players don't.
So much fun.
You loved it.
Oh, so much fun.
I think you just, and correct me if I'm wrong, you can't be worried about making a mistake. Just go out and play. Harrison back in safely. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of players that thrive in those situations, I think, can focus a little bit more and kind of dig down and deep inside yourself and really draw in to the magnitude of the game. And I loved it. I just thought it was fun. I thought there was nothing else to do. The whole world's watching. Get one game to play, one day at a time, one at bat at a time, and you just go out there and do the best you can. And there's that chance that you're going to be a hero. Take that chance.
One out and a runner at first. 2004 Jim Edmonds walk-off home run facing elimination against Houston. Game 6. Game 7. One of the most dramatic catches we've seen in Cardinals postseason history off the bat of Brad Ausmus. Saved a couple of runs. If you don't make that catch, I'm not sure you head to Boston.
Maybe not. But I think you're running on adrenaline also.
Yeah.
So you can draw that in and kind of don't have to worry about feeling good or bad. It's just you don't have anything else but to feel good.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Slowly hit left side. Out there, the turn and save at first. Little English on that baseball to third. You can see that, and then spin to Jerko and nearly turned by Colton Wong.
Josh Bell was getting down the line so fast. I mean, these young guys for the Pirates are big, strong, tall. They can all run. That play didn't take very long to develop, and he beat that up easy.
Now McCutchen 0-2, popped out to third, also flied out to center. Pitch count at 71 for Michael Walkup. Ball in front, Molina to second. Oh, what a throw right on the bag. And he guns down Bell. The weapon that he is, Yadier Molina, kept it in front, hopped on it, and threw a strike to second base. His reaction, little fist pump. Birds on top, 2-1. couple of home runs here this afternoon. He's our BJC Healthcare difference maker. First 12 games, 7 for 49, but this series he has 3 hits. All 3 have gone for extra bases. Had the triple, run scored yesterday and then today in the 3rd. This solo shot into the Cardinal bullpen, and then next time up down the right field line for his 2nd home run. He knew he had the distance, just had to make sure it stayed fair as Piscotty looks at a strike. So this year we're celebrating the 125th anniversary of Cardinal baseball, and it's only the 28th time that a Cardinal has hit a home run, rather 2 home runs from the leadoff spot. It's only happened 28 times. That's a bit surprising. Now that leadoff role has changed over the years. 0-2 pitch. Typically it always was kind of a smaller player with speed, and now you had Carpenter there for a number of seasons. He did that 4 times. Lou Brock 5 times. But it's a different game.
Much different. The old game, like you said, guys would run, get on base, take a walk. I remember Tony Phillips once saying that if he had to swing the bat, he wouldn't have a job. Because his job was to take pitches and get on base and walk and do things. It wasn't all just about going up there and hitting. So the old leadoff man had to do a lot of different things in order just to get on base. That was it. That was his job, was to get on base.
Cause havoc. Piscotty a base hit. First hit of the afternoon for Steven. You think leadoff home runs, hard not to think about the great Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson.
It's probably the first, maybe I would say, leadoff hitter that had power, speed, I mean everything. He had a little bit of everything, but the power was, it's funny as you say that, and then what comes out of your mind when you, or what you think about with Ricky Henderson, other than stealing the bases, is the home runs.
Yeah,
leadoff home run. Kind of put that on the map.
Now Jose Martinez. So that shot of the great Lou Brock on the wall of the Hall of Famers and Cardinal greats in left field, and talked to a couple of folks that know him very well yesterday, and they said Lou is resting at home comfortably, feels great, spirits are very high, and everybody asking about him, caring for him. As Martinez chops it to short. Mercer, nice play, the turn, and safe at first. For fans that maybe have not heard, Lou Brock battling cancer. Brings in Molina, grounded a hot shot through the legs of Garrett Cole for a base hit back in the 4th, and struck out in the 2nd. 1 for 2. Maybe this is the time you think about the hit and run. Also think it's going to be interesting. Let's just say that O is off limits today. You will go to your bullpen at some point. How Mike Matheny will mix and match to try to get to what we would assume would be Trevor Rosenthal, if you get there.
Might see a matchup to start the 9th. Maybe a lefty-lefty, righty-righty. If it's the righty, you expect Rosenthal. The lefty, you might see who a couple of those lefties get up.
Brett Cecil last night, good job. Induced a double play to end the 7th. So Matt Bowman, scoreless 8th, and then the adventurous 9th with O. It's gotten Yachty to chase that pitch a couple of times today. See that velocity still up, slider still tight.
Guys are starting to catch up with the velocity a little bit, but he still has that angle and ball running, and like I said, that slider being tight. It's still, I mean, that's why it's so important when you get a fastball to handle. You got to put a good swing on it because you're not going to get another one.
Did you get your babysitter for tonight?
Yeah, me.
Oh, I thought you were going to go to the Blues game.
Can't do it.
Runner goes on the 1-2, and a fly ball lifted out to right, and a diving catch made in right by Jaso. Back to the bag, Martinez. I still like the fact the Cardinals put a man in motion and try to get something going.
I like that, especially with Yachty hitting. I mean, I think it's a guy who stays inside the ball and can do it if he wants to do it and does it successfully. Why not?
And also doesn't strike out a lot, so you feel a little bit more comfortable with that move. And the Cardinals will pinch run with Grichuk. I didn't see anything awkward with Martinez going back to the bag. This may be a straight move to put Grichuk in the game. Jerko with a fly ball out to right. Jaso is back on the track and makes the catch. Cardinals strand a runner, their 5th. We ended the 7th, a 2-1 ball game. Presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Saturday on FS1, Yadier Molina and your Cardinals are in Milwaukee to take on Ryan Braun and the Brewers. Don't miss the action. The Cards and Brewers Saturday at 6, FS1 streaming live on Fox Sports Go. The 7th inning. McCutchen, first pitch fouled back. McCutchen 0 for 2, popped out to third, fly to center. This is the deepest that Waka has gone in a game this year. Good changeup. He's had back-to-back starts of 6 innings against Cincinnati and then the Yankees. The 1-2 pitch. And the 2-2. Held on to by Molina. And strikeout number 3 for Michael Wacha. Shop and Say Powerade Carlos Martinez Kids Home White Jersey is coming up. That's Sunday, April 30th. And get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
See that good changeup by Michael Wacha. 7th inning, only having 77 pitches. It's really good for him, especially because at times he's a strikeout pitcher. So he's got his stuff working today. Been moving the ball around enough to get some balls put in play early, and still has good command.
Polanco, ground ball to second. Wong is there. You think about it too. Maybe you're tiring a bit. The hot day, and you've got McCutchen, Polanco, and Freese, and he's gotten the first 2. While the season is heating up, you can cool down with the new frozen beverages at McDonald's. Stay cool this summer with Frozen at McDonald's. David Freese, first pitch is strike. Michael Wacha began this ball game by setting down the first 10 that he saw. One ball, one strike. Freese is grounded to short and also fly to center. And that'll find just enough room down the right field line as Piscotty holds him to a single with a strong throw back in from right field. Take a look at the Chevy Fox tracks. Nice play there by Stephen Piscotty.
So David Freese right here taking a tough pitch, middle in, and fighting it off with that inside out swing. And what a great job Stephen Piscotty does here, going into the corner, making that spin move and making a good strong throw to keep David at first. Those things like that are important, especially in a one-run game. Huge play right there by Piscotty.
Here's Jaso, looks at a ball low. Freese has that ability, inside out swing, but we talk about it a lot. A hitter that lets the ball get deep, and he will do that. It's a changeup again. Pitch that maybe betrayed him for a couple of innings looks to be back on track this inning.
Lose that slot for a little bit, find it again. Looks pretty sharp right now. See if he can't finish strong.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. 1-2. It'll be interesting if he's able to get out of this at 85 pitches. More than likely, I would think he'd be done. Cardinals don't want to push him too much in the early going with his shoulder issues, but 85 pitches, certainly could think about it. Ball out in front, Freese stays put.
Depending on how he feels, how his command is, how his velocity is. Also, you got to think about this too. You need this win. This is a big win. Get this team back on track. Every win is really important right now to climb your way back up into that 500 level. Stay within range. Don't get too far down, especially for the psyche of this club. He might have been looking changeup right there.
Wacha is due up second, by the way, looking ahead. There goes Freese on the 3-2, and he lost him, so it's a walk. Second walk issued. Now the tying run is in scoring position for Jordy Mercer.
Such a good play right there.
Then this ball to keep him at first as well. The block by Yadier Molina. Mercer is lined out and also lined into a double play, a very soft liner.
And now you can see why it's so important for Steven to keep him off second. Then you see the block by Yachty like we showed, and now you got a guy at second base. Totally changes the complexion of the inning and how everyone's going to play defense. Now you got multiple signs, make sure everyone's on the same page. Totally changes the way you play the game in a tight game like this when the guy just goes from first just to simply to second.
Matt Bowman throwing in the pen.
The infield's got to kind of be more prepared for something, knock the ball down, keep him at third. The outfield's got to be more aware, maybe come in a couple of steps. Then the manager wants to come out and talk to you too.
And he's going to go with Bowman. So Matt Bowman, who has been terrific this year. Our Chevy called to the pen, and a nice outing by Michael Wacha. With Dexter Fowler. His first curtain call as a Cardinal. He'd come into this series having hit just one home run in his career against Pittsburgh. He picks up 2 today. If you include spring training going back to last year as well, 29 scoreless innings for Matt Bowman consecutive. So you get a look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal. Jordy Mercer with 2 outs and 2 on. Good tight breaking ball. Already this will be the 9th appearance for Bowman. You always get a little concerned about going to the well a little too often. You can understand why you'd want to when a guy's had this kind of success.
One thing about being the hot hand is you're going to get used.
Quickly ahead, 0-2. pitcher spot is due up second, so it might be one of those scenarios where he's asking Bowman, get me one out. The 0-2. He got him. Strikeout for Bowman. He's been unbelievable. Quick work of Jordy Mercer. It's 2-1. Time to stretch. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Felipe Rivero, one of 4 lefties that they have in the Pittsburgh pen, takes over for Garrett Cole. It's our Chevy. Cole to the pen. Cole and Wong, then a pinch hitter. As Aledmys Diaz has moved to the on-deck circle. And then we'll see the switch hitting Dexter Fowler, who has already homered twice in this game. And a strike to Colton Wong. 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. Wong hits it out of play. 0-2 the count. Cardinals with a lefty getting loose in the pen, and there's a strikeout of Wong. Quick work of Colton Wong. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks as we take you back to the top of the 7th. 2 runners on. And maybe Jordy Mercer looking for something else in the bench reaction after the strikeout for Matt Bowman.
That's where that good hard sinker comes into play. Creeps into the mind of the hitter and then make a decent pitch with the slider and voila.
So Diaz is 0 for his last 18. Garrett Cole struck out 8 in this game. Gave up 2 home runs, both solo shots to Dexter Fowler, and a total of 5 base hits. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Come on, hey.
Let's see, a last pitch at 98 miles an hour from Rivero. And again at 98.
There's a lot of talent in this Pittsburgh ball club. Another example of it right here.
The 2-1. 2-2.
That is just smooth, free, and firm.
I mean, that pitch right there almost unhittable on the black at 98 on the outside corner. 2-2 pitch.
Change up.
Another 2-2. Diaz deep in the hole and a base hit. That's what he needed. $30,000 fans ages 16 and older receive a one-of-a-kind Carlos Martinez, Matt Carpenter double bobblehead on April 29th. It's courtesy of SSM Health, Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. Cardinals.com for more information. So here we go. Fowler with 2 home runs already hit here today. First pitch to Fowler. Ball 1. Those 2 home runs hit from the left side, and now digging in for the first time on this side of the plate, which is his natural side. Good changeup. The 1-1 runner goes inside, throw to second, quick release, and Stewart guns down Diaz. That was a quick release.
Really quick release, lefty throw, and I thought he was quick to the plate. Diaz got a good jump, but too much quickness. The velocity's too much. Tough to run right there.
Here's a 2-1. Tapped foul, 2-2. You mix in a lefty throwing 98
with a good changeup,
and also righty at the plate, so good look for the catcher.
I think it's a good idea. I think that he's throwing strikes, and I think they're hoping that Dexter's swinging the bat a little bit better, pick out a good pitch to run on if you get a good jump, hopefully throw a strike. Never know, not a hit and run situation, but Dexter hits the ball in the gap, get a chance to score.
Switch hitter, can you get off balance on one side of the plate and be locked in on another?
Often, from what I've heard over the years, it's always that way. You're always fighting one side or the other. So maybe when you're locked in on one, you're off the other, or vice versa. Hard to put them both together.
You can see he's just a little out in front on some of these pitches as opposed to hitting from the other side of the plate. You talked about it, not jumping as much, staying back on the ball.
And then, like you said, you had one at bat yesterday, I think, right-handed, but then you don't see, I mean, now you're seeing 97 from the left side.
Three and two the count.
Sometimes when you try to turn it up a notch to gear up for that velocity, you tend to drift a little bit because you try to just get going a little sooner.
Fowler puts it in play, slowly hit left side, freeze, no play, tried to barehand, and it's a 3-hit day for Dexter Fowler. That's also where baseball is a funny game. Game 1 of the series, he had 2 bullets for outs. This one a little tapper, and it turns out to be a base hit.
Tough play for David Freese, ball's bouncing. Do or die. That's the only way he goes. Typically you would catch this ball with your glove. David didn't have time to play that bounce with the glove. He had to barehand it. Just really doesn't have a lot of time with Dexter running, and just almost impossible to catch that ball with your bare hand and make a throw when it's bouncing like that.
Pitch up and in to Greg Garcia. Cardinals, if they wanted to, could keep Diaz in the game to play shortstop and move Garcia. Have to gear up for that fastball, and he's shown a good changeup. And since the All-Star break of last season, the opponents are hitting .078 on non-fastballs. It's not a small sample size. 5 for 64. The 2-0. Follow your runner at first base, and a 2-1 pitch to Garcia. Instead, a check on Dexter. Three and one. Carpenter on deck.
You send them here? I don't think so.
3-1 pitch. 3-2. And now he is running, undoubtedly. It's a home plate umpire, Eric Cooper. Adrian Johnson down at first. Gabe Morales at second. Gary Cedarstrom, the crew chief, he's at third. Last two innings, our home plate umpires taking a couple of shots off the mask and chest protector. 3-2 pitch to Greg Garcia. There goes Fowler, and a swing and a miss. And we head to the eighth with the Cardinals leading by the score of 2-1. Kevin Segrist. So Segrist ideally would be setting up what we would, I think, assume would be Trevor Rosenthal. Typically, it's not always the case, but typically back-to-back days for a closer, you don't see him back out there for the third day, especially with 20-plus pitches last night by O.
Well, and like you said, the 3 days is tough, but especially 2 days followed by a day game. That quick turnaround sometimes is just a little bit too much.
Jose Ozuna just called up. Will pinch hit for Stewart. First pitch taken for a ball inside. Ozuna was at AAA Indianapolis, rated as the 28th best prospect by Pittsburgh. Marte suspended and he's called up. Pinch hit in the game last night and did not reach. 1-1 to count. Ozuna, and then we'll see a pinch hitter for Rivero. And the top of the lineup for Pittsburgh from Venezuela. Here's a 1-1. Good fastball. Velocity has been down just a tad or two, tick or two with Kevin Segrist. Sometimes that's just mechanical. Also, it's early in the season. The 1-2 pitch.
He goes through that sometimes. You'll see him up velocity a little bit higher for a while, and then it'll go down a little bit, pick back up again. It's just sometimes you go through the dead arm. Sometimes you get it early, right at the end of spring training. Sometimes you get it in the middle of the year.
1-2 pitch is a fly ball lifted out to left. Grichuk or Fowler. It'll be Dexter. He makes the catch. Jonathan Broxton is throwing in the Cardinals pen. A reminder that St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light, famous among friends, and by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Francisco Cervelli will be the pinch hitter. So he is in the 9th spot in the lineup. Then we'll see Josh Harrison. But before this game is through, you still have to go through Bell, who is homer today. McCutchen, always dangerous, along with Polanco. And the 0-1 pitch by Kevin Segrist. Breaking ball misses in. Cervelli started the first 2 games of the series. He's 2 for 8. Fowler in the outfield, shading towards right center, playing him to pull on the infield. Segrist, gloves and throws. Drop by Carpenter. Oh goodness. That's as routine as it gets.
See right there, it's kind of just a little cross up. I think Carp gets up there, stands up straight, expecting to get a throw at him in the chest. Segrist throws him a little bit of a sinker and it crosses up his steps, and then all of a sudden you can't reach to where you want to be. It goes from a routine play to an error.
I will say this, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for Carpenter, but Segrist has had issues throwing to the bags.
Well, and he threw a sinker right there, and that is just something you don't expect. You could see he even gave it a little hop, try to get his shoulders squared to the bag and throw it, but when it goes down like that, sometimes it's not easy to handle.
Harrison has 1 home run this year. The tying run at first base. And he hits it out of play. You know, we've seen, and we had Rick Ankiel in the booth last night, couldn't throw a strike, couldn't throw it to the plate. There are guys, pitchers, that can throw it 60 feet, 6 inches, and put it wherever they want. But when they get one that's back to them, they can't throw it to a bag.
You know, I think you do. Your arm gets in that 60 feet, 6 inch deal. You're throwing with everything you got. Blood's flowing in your arm. You have that pump going, and I've been there. It's been a long time since I had to do it, but fielding ground balls and turning over there, your arm feels like it weighs 100 pounds, and it's just to be able to have to back off. That's why you see guys run it over there, throw it hard, and you see pitchers do all kinds of ways to get it over to first base because it's just not that easy.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Ground ball, could be 2. No. Everybody safe. And Segris should be out of the inning. Kevin Segris, by the way, since the All-Star break, had only thrown over to first base to pick a man off just 8 times. Aaron Garcia following the air by Carpenter. You give big league teams this kind of chance, normally they make you pay. Crowd today 40,182, 40182. Broxton has been throwing in the pen. And it brings in the switch hitting Josh Bell. Homered from the other side of the plate back in the 4th. And there's ball 1. Cardinals should be hitting right now.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
2 tough plays right there. They both, I'm sure if you ask all 3 guys, they would tell you that they should have made those plays. Better throw. Carp. Even catching that sinker's tough. It's funny how you take for granted the little things. You know, you don't get yourself in position to throw. You don't get yourself into position to make the catch. Looked like Greg couldn't get that last little step over to the right to get in front of that ball. Things can happen in a hurry.
The 2-0 pitch. And Bell with a fly ball out to left. Going back, Grichuk near the edge of the track makes the catch. And the runner stayed put, and a strong throw by Grichuk. It's a big play because now you just have 1 man in scoring position.
Good job by Randall getting behind the ball and throwing the ball in, because you can't take for granted that they're going to tag. They're not going to tag. You got to do the best you can to keep them from tagging at all times. So to come up and throw that ball, I mean, the guy at second base is tagging, looking to see if you're paying attention, and basically making that strong throw gives him a chance to take a couple hard steps and then go back. You don't make that throw, he keeps running.
Most left fielders, that throw goes to second. You just concede the runner going from second to third.
You don't have to do that all the time if you have a strong arm, and that's what I like to see, is at least give an effort.
Now McCutchen. Inside. Not great speed at second base, something to keep in mind with Cervelli there. 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position this year. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Andrew McCutchen. The 2-0 pitch. 2-1. Plaza Tire Fox Tracks.
Good job right here. Yachty calling the changeup. Also good job right there by McCutchen, not really getting out of control and just swinging at anything he sees.
The 2-1 pitch. Popped up. That'll find the seats now 2-2. I'm sure they're used to seeing Siegrist with a fastball that's much harder and a breaking ball that's harder too. See, McCutchen was way out in front. Now this big crowd will get into it. You give him a fastball, be careful, hitting .412 off fastballs this year. They want to talk about it. That might be the conversation here.
Be pretty impressed if Yachty has that stat in the back of his brain right now.
May not have the stat, but he knows in terms of what the hitter may like.
Plus you got a pitch to play with too.
That's
not
the other
that you
part
want
of
to
this.
start the runner, but you don't just want to throw the ball over the plate, a get me over. You want to bury something as far as if you want that strikeout pitch or that ground ball pitch here. You don't want to just flip something up knowing you have another pitch to play with because you get the runner started, but you got to remind him that this is the pitch you want to get after.
Here's a 2-2.
Seen this pitch called the strike a few times today. Oof.
He also had Molina on the outside portion of the plate reaching for it. Doesn't get the call. Biggest pitch of the day right here. 3-2 to McCutchen. Bases loaded. And the batter will be Polanco. We talked about last night. If you're going to face Polanco with the game on the line, you want a lefty up there pitching. Inning started with a flyout by Ozuna. Cervelli reached on the air by Carpenter. Harrison reached on the air by Garcia. Bell flied out to left. Walk to McCutchen. Bases loaded. Polanco today 0 for 2 with a walk. Hitless against Kevin Siegrist in 3 plate appearances. Two outs, bases loaded. Ball 1 as Siegrist just stares back into the home plate umpire.
We got the umpire to flinch a little bit right there. I'm sure this ball's right at the bottom of the zone, if not just down. Tell you what, when you're a pitcher though, you got the bases loaded, the game on the line, you want that pitch.
Here's a 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. We talked about it the other night. The great plate coverage of Polanco. Such a big guy. Came in as a pinch hitter in game 1, doubled to make it a 1-run ball game that the Cardinals eventually held on to win. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Lefties in his career, 206. One pitch. Polanco rips it. Carpenter's there. A game saver. A game saver by Carpenter. That's how you atone for the air. And some emotion from Carpenter as he popped up. 2-1. Birds on top. Chevy called to the pen. A game saver there by Matt Carpenter. Boy, how many times you see in the game of baseball you make that great play and then you lead off the next inning.
So many times it's unbelievable.
That's what we got here.
You'd like to see maybe follow that up with a homer.
Great play by Carpenter. Get 5 outs and don't score. You don't see that very often at this level. Pitcher is Daniel Hudson out of Lynchburg, Virginia. 6'3", 230 pounds, and a fastball and a strike to Carpenter. You can hear the Cardinals dugout screaming right now, saying, wait a minute. Kevin Segrist on the mound. That pitch not a strike. The 0-1. Carpenter breaks his bat. Little floater hit out to right center. And McCutchen is there. I think fans would be surprised to know how much chatter is going on the umpires, the opposition, constantly in the dugouts of a Major League Baseball game.
Emotions are running high when you're standing out there on that field and your pitcher's not getting the strike zone that you think he should get. Even if you're right or wrong, then your guys go up there to hit the next inning and the strike zone seems to open back up. Yes, for sure there is definitely some yelling coming out of that dugout.
Trevor Rosenthal is up and throwing for the Cardinals. Looking ahead to the top of the ninth, David Freese, John Jaso, Jordy Mercer upcoming for Pittsburgh. Big gap in left center. And the 1-0 pitch fouled back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tommy Pham is off to a good start at AAA. 4th home run of the season last night. Has already driven in 12. Carson Kelly with his 3rd multi-hit game, as we keep an eye on those that are down in the minor leagues. One and two the count. Randal Grichuk on deck. The 1-2 pitch. Fouled back again.
See Stephen Scotty taking some big swings. He knows he's been challenged the last couple days, and sometimes you get into the bullpen. Those guys don't have all the time when they're throwing hard. They don't have that pinpoint control. And you believe if you're going to get challenged and you're looking for a fastball, you try to take advantage of it now. You can see the good aggressive swings he's been putting on these last couple pitches.
Here's a 1-2. Scotty hits it to the right side. Harrison out number 2. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by your local St. Louis area Volkswagen dealers and by True Green, America's #1 professional lawn care company. Live life outside. Grichuk came in as a pinch runner for Martinez. And his first plate appearance of the afternoon. The last save for Trevor Rosenthal was June 21st of last year. That was against the Chicago Cubs. 2 outs, nobody on. Ball 1 to Grichuk. 2 for 6 in this series. The 1-1. Go ahead and hit that back leg. Thank you.
Drive it down in there.
Here's a 1-2. Strikeout of Grichuk sends us to the 9th. Rosenthal coming on, and it's a 2-1 St. Louis lead. Cardinals, at least initially, have been careful with Rosenthal dealing with that side issue, the right side. And so yesterday did not pitch. And when rested, boy, he's throwing hard to start this year. Already, he has had 10 pitches that have been 100 miles an hour or harder. And the Cardinals 3 outs away from escaping again with a potential win. Last night it was bases loaded. Pirates only 1 out, did not score in the 9th. Last inning, 2 errors committed, did not score. 1 ball, 1 strike on David Freese.
What do you do there if you're the hitter? You take that pitch, you just hope he grooves one down the middle at 80%.
1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Soft grounder to third. Glove by Jerko. 1 away. Dexter Fowler with our Nissan drives of the game. Solo shot in the 3rd, then back up again in the 5th. This one down the right field line. His first 2 home runs and RBIs as a Cardinal. Here's Jaso. It's easy to forget Trevor Rosenthal set the all-time single season save mark in 2015 with 48 on a 100-win season.
I'll tell you what, that was an easy 100 I just witnessed right there. That ball got on Jaso so quick.
0-1 pitch. 0-2.
You know what I like about Trevor this year? He seems to have all of his windup and body movement and everything more in order than he did last year. And it seems like everything is more together.
Compact.
Just smoother. He's not rushing as much. He doesn't look like he's looking for it, trying to feel for it. He looks like he's got a really good idea now of his tempo. And you're seeing more consistent pitches coming out of his arm as far as location and the height of the pitch. You know, he lost a lot of balls up last year and tailing and running all over the place. He looks really good and really smooth this year.
0-2 pitch. Check swing did not go. 1-2.
And that's the thing when you struggle. The thing you forget about the most is your mechanics. And you lose those because mentally you're just trying to search for any way to throw strikes.
.100 on the gun. 2-2 the count on Jaso. Got the start in right field today, on base twice. As he singled to left and then walked his last time up. The 2-2. .101 on the gun. So you want to be a big leaguer, huh? 100, 99, 100, 89 mile an hour changeup, 100, then 101. Two balls, 2 strikes. The next 2, Jaso. How to play again. Two pitch. Show the changeup again. 3-2. Jaso, ground ball, right side, past Wong, and the tying run is aboard. Brings in Jordy Mercer.
Tough play by Wong. He's so far up the middle right there. Him throwing so hard. Don't expect him to roll over and pull it into the hole.
Hansen will pinch run for Jaso. 2-hit day, on base 3 times. Jordy Mercer 0 for 3 today. Cardinals trying to pick up win number 6 on the year. Improved to 6-9, dropped the Pirates to 6-9. Strike 1. Outside of the blowout win that the Cardinals had was Saturday afternoon at home against Cincinnati, everything has been a grind this year for the Cardinals. The 0-1 pitch.
Good pitch.
Wow. Plaza Tire Fox Tracks. Take a look.
That is right on the edge.
Cardinals have turned 1 double play today.
When you look at that replay, do you want the ball in the box for the strike zone? Or are you saying if that ball touches the edge like that, that should be a strike? When you look at that, what do you think?
I think if you're on the edge, it's a strike.
If it just touches the line a little bit.
The 1-1. The box is set up, by the way, for folks at home that are curious about this. It's not where Molina is catching the ball. It's technology that's set up to where the ball is crossing the plate. One ball, 2 strikes. Runner at first. Two and 2. Two-two pitch. Struck him out. And Mercer thought that was high. Now the home plate umpire Eric Cooper hearing it from both sides. Brings in Ozuna. Pinch hit, stayed in the game. He's 0 for 1. Ball 1.
See where he caught that? In the palm. 100 miles an hour.
Twice he's done that too.
He kind of had a slow reaction there. If you didn't see it, Yachty caught that ball backhanded in the palm at 100 mile an hour. I think that can't feel good.
Pirates down to their final out. The 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. down to their final strike. Cardinals came into this series reeling, and now a pitch away from a sweep. The 1-2 pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And a 22 pitch. Top of the 9th here for Rosenthal. The 2-2 struck him out. A sweep. The Cardinals hold on. 2-1 the final, and the save for Rosenthal. Huge day for Fowler with a couple of solo home runs. Dexter Fowler, our Budweiser player of the game, 3 for 4 today. The 2 home runs and an infield hit, a couple of RBIs, a couple of runs scored. He is your Budweiser player of the game. Reeling when they came into Busch on Monday night. They leave heading to Milwaukee with a sweep of the Pittsburgh Pirates. 2-1 the final.